It was early morning local time when rocket sirens sounded all across central Israel.
This morning in Jerusalem time, security cameras captured something that will make your blood run cold. The Eastern Gate, sealed for 500 years, began to breathe. The ancient stones were expanding and contracting like lungs. Israeli officials immediately classified the footage, but I've seen it. And in the next 60 seconds, I'm going to show you why the world's most powerful governments are terrified of what's waking up behind those walls. What you're about to witness isn't conspiracy theory. It's happening right now, and according to ancient prophecy, we have less than 40 days before everything changes. If you're watching this, it's not by accident. Don't look away.
The Temple Mount is in our hands. We are in Jerusalem, and we are here to stay.
It happened minutes ago in Jerusalem. Security cameras captured something that shouldn't be possible. The Eastern Gate, sealed shut for over 500 years, began to breathe. Not metaphorically. The ancient stones were expanding and contracting like lungs, like something alive behind those Ottoman walls was finally waking up. The footage is classified now, but I've seen it, and what I'm about to share with you will change everything you thought you knew about the world we're living in. Before we go further, I need you to do something. If you feel like this message found you for a reason, hit that subscribe button right now. Because what's coming in the next few minutes isn't being reported anywhere else, and you need to see the evidence before it disappears. Let me start with something you need to understand. The Eastern Gate in Jerusalem isn't just another historical landmark. According to the prophet Ezekiel, this gate would remain sealed until God himself returns. For 2,500 years, that prophecy has held true. Empires tried to prevent it. Muslim rulers built a cemetery directly in front of it, believing the Jewish Messiah, being a priest, couldn't walk through a graveyard without becoming ceremonially unclean. For 5 centuries, that gate has been buried behind layers of stone and the bones of the dead. But 3 days ago, something changed. Cracks started appearing in the ancient seal. Not random fractures, these cracks formed patterns. Some witnesses claim they see Hebrew letters. Others swear they're seeing Arabic script. The stones are speaking, and depending on who's looking, they're saying different things. Dr. Rebecca Harrison, a seismologist from Tel Aviv University, was called in to investigate. Her equipment detected vibrations, but not from any earthquake or tectonic activity. The frequency was all wrong. It was rhythmic, like a pulse. She measured it, 72 beats per minute, the exact resting heartbeat of a human being. The Earth itself has a pulse at this spot, Dr. Harrison reported, and it's getting stronger. 3 months ago, it was barely detectable. Last month, you could feel it through your shoes. This week, chains hanging near the wall started visibly swaying on their own. But that's just the beginning. In 1969, archaeologist James Fleming was documenting the Eastern Gate when the ground collapsed beneath him. He fell 8 feet into darkness. When he looked up with his flashlight, he saw something impossible. Another gate, older, hidden directly beneath the sealed one. 2 gates, layered one above the other. The lower gate dated back to the time of Jesus, the exact era when prophecy describes a king entering Jerusalem on a donkey, which means the gate we see today, the one that's moving, isn't the original. It's the upper structure, the one connected to the second coming. And just days ago, ground-penetrating radar revealed something even more shocking. There are hollow chambers behind the seal, massive voids in the stone that shouldn't exist. When mapped from above, these chambers form a pattern, a shape that ancient texts describe as the footprint of God. Israel won't allow excavation. The political chaos would be catastrophic, but the signs are surfacing anyway. Last Tuesday, Christian pilgrims from South Korea were praying at dawn when they witnessed something that hasn't happened in 500 years.
Moisture began seeping through the ancient seal. But Jerusalem had been dry for weeks. This liquid wasn't from rain, it was coming from inside. When tested, the moisture had a salinity consistent with human tears. And here's what made it even more significant. Those tears appeared on Tisha B'Av, the exact day both Jewish temples were destroyed, the same date Jews were expelled from Spain, the day World War I began, setting the stage for the Holocaust. The most cursed date in Hebrew history. But this time, instead of destruction, something else was breaking through. The 40-day countdown. Rabbi Shmuel Rabinovich, who oversees King David's tomb, revealed something his father told him 40 years ago. When the stones weep at the eastern gate, count 40 days. What happens next will shake the nations. 40 days from those tears leads to Yom Kippur, the all-knowing day, the Day of Atonement, the holiest day in Judaism, the day when in ancient times the high priest would send a scapegoat through this very gate, carrying Israel's sins into the wilderness. The countdown has already started. And strange things are accelerating across Jerusalem. 2 weeks ago, the reconvened Sanhedrin, the ancient Jewish religious council reformed in 2004, held an emergency meeting. The topic was classified, but one member leaked the agenda: preparing for temple service. They've been training priests, real Levitical descendants, confirmed through DNA testing, teaching them rituals that haven't been performed for 2,000 years. Why now? Because 3 months ago, a red heifer was born in Texas, completely red, no white hairs, no blemishes, the kind required for temple purification, the kind that signals the temple's rebuilding. It was secretly flown to Israel last month. They're waiting for it to turn 3 years old, the biblical requirement for sacrifice. That happens in exactly 40 days. The same 40 days the rabbi mentioned. The AI that found a date in the Bible. Here's where ancient prophecy meets modern technology in a way that should terrify even skeptics. An AI program designed to analyze biblical texts discovered something no human ever noticed. The Hebrew letters in Ezekiel's prophecy about the Eastern Gate, when converted to their numerical values, produce a date: September 23, 2024. Dr. Michael Stern, the programmer who made this discovery, ran the calculation 10,000 times. Same result every time. He checked for errors, had colleagues verify it. The date doesn't change. What makes this absolutely chilling is Dr. Stern is an atheist. He wasn't looking for prophecy. He was testing language patterns. But the pattern he found points to a specific moment in time.
September 23, 2024 is also the 19th of Tishri in the Hebrew calendar, the 5th day of Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles, the feast when Jews remember God dwelling with them in the wilderness, when God tabernacled with humanity. The dream that's spreading worldwide. People across the world are having the same dream. They've never met. Different countries, different denominations, but the dream is identical. They see a figure in white standing at the eastern gate. The stones melt like wax. The cemetery vanishes like morning mist. The figure speaks one word, a word they can't understand, but somehow know means open. Dr. Patricia Williams, a psychologist studying this phenomenon, has documented 1,244 cases. All describe the same details: the white figure, the melting stones, the single word. But here's what made Dr. Williams close her practice and move to Jerusalem. The word they're hearing, when phonetically spelled out, is petah, ancient Hebrew for open. People who don't know Hebrew are hearing Hebrew in their dreams, and they're all hearing the same word. Directly across from the eastern gate, the Mount of Olives is splitting, not metaphorically, literally. A crack runs 300 feet from north to south. It appeared in 2018, but in the last 3 months, it's widened from 2 inches to 14 inches.
The prophet Zechariah prophesied this exact split would happen when the Messiah's feet touched the mountain. Scientists blame construction, a new hotel, water pipe damage, but the crack doesn't follow construction lines. It runs perfectly east to west, directly toward the eastern gate. And here's what the media won't report. Olive trees along the crack are blooming out of season. It's October. Olives in Jerusalem should be harvested, not flowering. But these trees are producing fresh white blossoms that locals say smell like frankincense. The last time olive trees bloomed out of season in Jerusalem was 70 AD, weeks before the Romans destroyed the temple. Remember Suleiman's cemetery, the one built to stop the Messiah? For 500 years, those graves have been undisturbed. Muslim tradition forbids moving the dead. But in the past 6 months, something impossible has been documented. The graves are sinking, not from erosion, the ground is dry. Not from construction, no one's allowed to dig there. The graves are descending straight down, uniformly, as if the earth is swallowing them. Ahmed Rashid, whose family has tended these graves for 7 generations, broke his silence last week. My grandfather warned this would happen. He said when the Jewish Messiah comes, our dead would make way. I thought it was foolish superstition, but now I see it with my own eyes. 23 graves have sunk so far, all in a straight line, creating a path from the Mount of Olives to the eastern gate. Each grave has descended exactly 7 feet, 7, the number of completion in Hebrew numerology, the number of God's perfect timing. Pilots flying over Jerusalem at dawn are reporting something impossible. For a few seconds, as the first light hits the Temple Mount, they see it. A massive golden structure where only the Dome of the Rock should be. Not a reflection, not a mirage, a 3-dimensional structure that appears solid, throws shadows, and reflects on radar. Then it vanishes. Air traffic control has recorded 17 incidents, all at dawn, all lasting between 7 and 30 seconds, all showing the same structure, a building matching the exact dimensions of Ezekiel's future temple. Captain Ryan Foster, a former Air Force pilot, described it. It's like 2 realities are overlapping. One moment I see the Islamic shrine, the next I see a Jewish temple, as if time itself is stuttering between present and future. The question you need to answer. Every sign points to the same moment. Every prophecy indicates the same location. Every system, religious, economic, geological, astronomical, is converging on one gate, one date, one impossible event. The Eastern Gate isn't just moving, reality itself is bending around it. Scientists call it a singularity, a point where all known laws break down. Theologians call it the day of the Lord. But they're all describing the same thing, the moment when the spiritual and physical worlds merge, when the gate between heaven and earth opens, when the king returns to his city. The stones aren't just cracking, they're dissolving the barrier between what is and what will be. Can you hear it? The ancient stones groaning, the seals breaking, the barriers between heaven and earth dissolving? Can you feel it? The atmospheric pressure changing, the spiritual temperature rising, the urgency intensifying. Can you see it? The signs multiplying, the timeline accelerating, the convergence approaching. The Eastern Gate is opening, not someday, not eventually, now, in our time, in our generation. And when it opens fully, when the King steps through, when glory returns to Jerusalem, everything changes, forever, irreversibly, completely. The only question is, are you ready for what comes through? Drop a comment below, share this video, and subscribe, because what happens in the next 40 days will determine everything. The countdown has begun.